Oh, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm delighted to be joined by Luke McNally, currently on loan at Coventry City from Burnley Football Club. How are you this morning, Luke?
Yeah, all good, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
No bother, no bother. We tend to kind of do this around this time of year, and it's kind of coming up to the international break and stuff like that. You're doing really, really well since your loan move. I'm not sure how long you're there now because we're into February, but you're having a good spell at the moment, and we'll come to that. But I suppose for some people who may not know of your kind of football and journey, do you want to bring us up to speed on kind of where you started off and where you came through, and I suppose maybe just to start off where your love of football came from.
Yeah, I guess I was the same as anyone else. Like as a kid, always outside playing football like anyone else. And I grew up in Enfield, in County Meath, so I was quite rural. Like I didn't live in an estate with like loads of lads that play football all the time, but we used to just meet up at the Gaelic pitch, and yeah, I was playing nearly every day and all the way through the summer, and just good memories. Joined my local club, Enfield Celtic, then. Played there for a long time, to be fair. I played there till I was about 14 or 15. Just played local, really, where my dad was the manager. So that was really fun. It wasn't too serious. And I never really thought about taking it too seriously then until um, probably going to the Kennedy Cup, and that with the NEC is always good. And just slowly progressed, moved on to Drogheda, played underage with them. Had a good few years there. And then Pat's 19s asked me to join Ment there. So yeah, just through my younger days, it wasn't as serious. And then as I got sort of around 16, I started to put a bit more effort and seriousness into it. And luckily it worked out for me, really.
Yeah, I was actually at the League of Ireland launch yesterday, and Sam Curtis was there from Pats, and he was just talking about the academy there, and so many players are coming through at the moment. Like obviously yourself came through, and then you players like Dara Burns and stuff like that has gone on to MK Don since. What is it about the Pats Academy that is producing such a conveyor belt? And what are your kind of thoughts on the League of Ireland Academy? Because I suppose you'd have been a graduate of it.
Yeah, I think the Pats one, they get a good pick of players. I think what helps is it's not um they weren't fighting for titles as much at the time when I was there. They were more European spots, so there was a bit more of an opportunity for lads. I think lads did recognise that it would be much tougher to get into, say, a Dundalk at that time. It would have been around 2018, 2017, around then. So when you're choosing a club, I think for young lads, they have to see a clear pathway through, and that was there, to be fair, at Pats. I had Jamie Lennon year before me, and there's loads of others really that came through. Like Sean Hoare was one, like loads of them. So I always knew that if I did play well, there was a chance, and I wouldn't have to move on. So as regards the league, the underage system, I think is brilliant. Like I played all of them, like the 17s, the 19s, even the first division and the Premier. Like I've done every jump really, and they all worked out perfectly for me. Like just that natural progression all the time. And some people say about a 21s league, it's hard to know with that. I think it's good for a 19s player like I was to go out on loan to say Drogheda in the first division, rather than playing a 21s league with one or two first team players in that. So I think it's brilliant. And now obviously you've got 15s and 13s now, don't you? So um, yeah, there's definitely a pathway there, and I think you're seeing that now. There's a lot more League of Ireland players moving over to the UK than there was before, and not just moving over, but doing quite well. So I think it's very positive. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a fan drop us in a message. You made on Drog's blog on Instagram, and he was just asking, were your three goals against Cabo one of your favourite moments of your career so far?
Yeah, it probably was. That was a bit of a mad one. It was a playoff semi final in the first division, and I just ended up scoring a hat trick, which was a bit bizarre. Like, um, didn't feel real at the time. It still is a bit weird, even embarrassing. Like telling someone it's just is a bit freaky. But yeah, no, yeah, that was class. I'll never forget that one. To be fair, that was one of the best feelings I've had in football.
He'd be delighted with that now. He's only a young lad, that fellow who sent that in. But so talk to me, because you went like, you obviously you've had your fair bit of experience and you're still quite young, because you've obviously played League of Ireland, you've played in the first division again. That's you're going into men's football as well. Then you're back at Pats and you get your move to Oxford. How was the transition from the League of Ireland then to League One? It seemed to be, from the outside looking in, it seemed to be seamless, but there's obviously so much more that goes into it. Like you're moving house and you're trying to have to settle in and stuff like that. But how was that overall transition for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say seamless. It wasn't seamless. It was very difficult to start. Like I moved straight into a flat during pretty much the back end of COVID, but still restrictions were strong. So I was in an empty flat. Couldn't go for a coffee, cinema, whatever you want to do. Like I couldn't do that. Couldn't car share. Like I was getting taxis into training. Obviously, I didn't have a car share. Just little things that were just like really difficult.
Were you on your own,
Um,
Luke?
on my own, yeah. Family couldn't come over. It was tough the first season. I didn't like. To be fair, I had injuries at the start as well when I signed, and I never really got in till the following season. So I signed in January. I basically just rehabbed and trained till the summer, and then I started getting chances then. But then yeah, once I got in, I done quite well. Like it still did take me a while to get in. I was sort of chucked in, taken out, kind of. Um, they were kind of careful with that, and then thankfully the turn of Christmas in 2022 was it? Yeah, just went well then. So differences in the league aren't actually massive. I think it depends how ready you are as well. Like some lads will say, "Oh, the League of Ireland is so much better than League One," or some lads will say the opposite. It kind of depends on how ready you are, I think. Um, but League of Ireland is always a good like springboard for you. You for a centre half, especially like you're dealing with big strikers, athletic, and they like to just deal with long balls and stuff like that. They're good at flick on, so all that really helped me, I think, for League One instead of maybe coming through an academy and it all being pass, pass, pass. Like League One would have suited me kind of straight away. I felt comfortable.
Yeah, because a lot of like Ireland internationals and stuff like that have been in. Like you have Ronan Curtis and you would have James McLean last year and Will Keane and stuff like that. So you would have been coming up against internationals at the same time. And I think that's just down to the strength of a lot of foreign players coming into the Premier League, and then that makes the Championship stronger than League One and that way down. But I think a few League of Ireland players I know have said that it's like the top end of the League of Ireland will compete quite well in the League One, and maybe the lower end would struggle. But like that's just natural, I think. I suppose.
Yeah, it's so hard to know. Like I was only chatting with one of the lads about this the other day. Like you probably will never know like where like these teams will rank. But yeah, I think a good strong team in the League of Ireland would have no problem in League One, if I'm honest. But um, yeah, I guess we'll never know really.
Well, they should make a cup competition or something like that, and that's how you'll find out. But obviously, the need for it will have to be there. You're, I suppose, yeah. The time you got into Oxford, then you never really looked back after that. It was kind of from your own point of view. You were doing really, really well, going on a real upward trajectory, and yeah, you see, I think you were getting in League One teams of the year. You were scoring quite a bit. Love a header. So how was I suppose the back end of last year for you?
Yeah, I loved it. Like just building up all these experiences really like walking out in the stadium of light, like little things like that you probably never thought you'd do maybe when you're younger. Like you dream of it but never maybe believe that you could do it. Like just rocking up and playing against Sheffield Wednesday, just big clubs. Like Ipswich, I scored against Ipswich, like just class memories that like that you remember forever really, because they're the first sort of your stepping stones in England. So um no, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And the manager was good with me and all the lads are class. Like it would have in hindsight, like it would be lovely to have played a bit more, but I knew that in football you have to take your opportunities when they come and obviously in the summer. So, but no, really happy memories there, to be fair.
Because I think, you said there you didn't play a lot, but you obviously took your chances when you did play, and that obviously earned you the move then to Burnley. What was that like? Because, and everybody, when I said that we were getting on, everybody was like, "Oh, Vincent Kompany, Vincent Kompany." Obviously, we know what a career he had, and you'd have been growing up. I'm sure you probably as a centre back. I'm not sure if you played there as a kid, but if you did, you'd definitely be watching him because at the time he was you wouldn't have got much better than him, to be fair, other than maybe Sergio Ramos or someone like that. But definitely to learn from him and to get the interest from someone who played in that position, what was that like, and what was the whole kind of process of getting the call from your own point of view?
Yeah, it was very exciting. I probably didn't really believe it. It was one of those when you get a bit of news that doesn't sink in. Like, I thought it was crazy, but he just ended up bringing me in the summer, and I couldn't believe it. Like, couldn't believe like his voice answering the phone. Even thought it was mental. But
did you think it was a wind up?
No, because my agent's quite serious, so
Oh, okay.
I didn't think he had it in him to wind me up like that. But yeah, if anyone else had told me, I probably would have thought it was. But yeah, no, he's, to be fair, and he's, as time has gone on, he stays the same. Like, he doesn't get cocky with wins or doesn't go mental if we lose. Like, he's very level headed, and there's no ego really in him. Just a really genuinely good guy and a really top coach as well. So no, a lot of respect for him. But yeah, no, it was a mad time, to be fair, that summer. Couldn't believe it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just look at what he's done with Josh Cullen. Like, I think he's totally revolutionised Josh Cullen's career. I would say now that Josh Cullen's probably Ireland's first name on the team sheet, if you're looking at it, and quite possibly Burnley's as well. And I think that just goes to show what if he likes you and you do what basically he can nurture you can turn out very, very well. And obviously what a leader he was at Man City and stuff like that. So I know you're at Coventry now on loan, but I think obviously your aim would be when you get back is to try and get in with Burnley. But to be able to learn off him is definitely something that I'm sure a lot of people are looking at going, I wish I had that situation, and I wish that he was interested in me the same way he was with you. Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, obviously a massive privilege, and to be fair, I learned a lot from him. I think obviously didn't play as much as I'd hoped, but I definitely feel a lot like I've progressed a lot in my game than when I was at Oxford, really. Tactically, like the knowledge you get from it, and how he progresses players as well. Like you mentioned, Josh, like done wonders for Josh really in his career, but you have to match it with the hard work and be willing to listen, and that's what Josh done, and he's flying now. So yeah, you can see how good our team is. I don't know if you've watched Burnley, but like just the domination in games, like it just gives you a great chance to go and get a win in the end, really. So very strong, yeah, and very strong, Burnley.
Yeah, I think he's totally changed the style of what Burnley maybe traditionally are, like away from Sean Dyche and the way he's doing things. As an Everton fan now, I'm glad Sean Dyche is at the helm because he's doing the right things for Everton. But what Vincent Kompany's doing with Burnley, I suppose in some ways that suits you. That's the way you kind of play football. But are you happy either way, whether it's long ball and you're just defending for games, or are you happy with the not tiki-taka, but domination of the possession? Are you comfortable in that situation where you're always on the ball and to play out from the back and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think if you ask any player, they'd rather play in a team that keep the ball as much as possible. But we don't keep it for the sake of it as well. Like in the couple of games I played, we do, like when there's a chance to move forward, I take it as well. Like it's not passed backwards all the time, but there's a purpose to it. So I think if you ask any player, they'd really enjoy that system, and our lads are the same. Just keeping the ball and stuff. That's why you play football as a kid. You don't, in all honesty, you probably don't start enjoying defending. It's kicking the ball against the wall is where you start. So yeah, no, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, the good thing now is that obviously there's a good bit of interest now at Burnley in terms of an Irish perspective, because we had players there previously, Jeff Hendrick and stuff like that, Stephen Ward. and Robbie Brady too. So I think now that there's a good contingent of Irish players there, Josh Cullen, I know Michael's there on loan now. Obviously you're there, and Dara Costa is away on loan. So hopefully next season all four will be there. I think that kind of gains a lot of Irish people's interest. So that's why when we got in touch with you, a lot of people were like, "Oh, brilliant!" And it's great to see Burnley have that big Irish contingent back again.
Yeah, they seem to have that that naturally grows with obviously past players from Ireland and that. So yeah, it's good to have that, and I think obviously Vincent Kompany being the manager has a big effect in it too. But yeah, no, it's definitely good to see. Yeah.
Talk to me about Coventry. How was that when did Coventry come in for you, or was it a case where Vincent Kompany was like, "I want you to get game time, I want you to go out"? Because I know Coventry have been struggling before you came in, and now you've kind of helped shore up the defence quite a bit.
Yeah, it was just an honest conversation between both of us that if there wasn't an opportunity to play minutes, then it'd be good to go out and loan. And thankfully, got a call from Coventry and spoke to the manager there and was happy with what he was saying, and was really delighted to join. They're a really good team. I know you're saying they're struggling, but they are quite doing quite well, really. And just went in there probably about a month ago or so, just towards the end of January, and really enjoyed it, to be fair. Championship is still, I guess, a step up for me in the sense of, like, I was a League One player last year, so I didn't know what I was to expect really going into the Championship. I knew it was going to be tough, but thankfully it's gone quite well so far. I've enjoyed all the games, and we've picked up a couple of wins on the way, so we're kind of looking at hopefully getting into those playoff spots towards the end of the year and try to do as best we can. There's a lot of teams in the way, but hopefully we just chase them down and see where we end up.
Yeah, and you've got Sean Maguire obviously joined as well, so you've another Irish lad there to kind of help. He'd be there similar enough time frame to you. Maybe you were there a couple of weeks before him, but it's good to have him there then with you as well, because I'd imagine, did you have to get up and move everything? I'm not sure the distance of Coventry and Burnley.
Yeah, the distance is too far really to live where I was. So yeah, I was in hotels really and Shawnee was the same, obviously coming from Preston. So really handy to have him. Like we just go off and get food in the evenings. The two of us would be on our own in the hotel, so we go off and got to know him very well. And he's like such a top lad. Like watching him at Cork, all those years, he's unbelievable. So it's cool to kind of be saying about him now. So great lad. It's good to have him.
Yeah, because it's for someone of his experience, like you were saying there, you maybe hadn't got a real taste of the Championship and stuff like that. Obviously have him there and have him as a mate now will obviously help you going forward. He has had his spells obviously with the international team as well. I know you'll probably play it down, but you're getting in teams of the week in the Championship, a lot of Irish players playing in the Championship, and you're kind of playing in that back three system. If things keep going the way they're going, do you think that you may be within a shout at least on the standby list for the upcoming qualifiers?
It's obviously the dream, like, is to play, and it's not my decision, so there's no point in me kind of giving it loads of thought. Hopefully that day will come, whenever it is, but I just have to continue playing well, playing every week, staying in the team, and doing as well as I can for Coventry, and whatever happens after that happens. But no, there's a lot of good centre backs, as you know, anyway. So I'm not expecting too many calls soon, but I just need to keep my form going, and hopefully one day get in. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think the Ireland team at the moment, it's stacked of really good goalkeepers and really good centre backs. And obviously there's only so many positions that you can fill there. But I think in some ways you're in a good situation now that you're playing in a back three. And how have you found from a back four to a back three? How has that been? I think you've said it in one of your interviews, you hadn't really done it, but how have you found the transition?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's interesting. You do get an opportunity to step in with the ball. it's a position that probably suits me quite well, if I'm honest. The like right of a back three or even in the middle. It suited me well. So you get an opportunity to go forward a little bit, to progress the ball and that. So no, I enjoy that side of it. So yeah, we have a good bond at Coventry as well. I've Colin McFadzean playing inside of me, and he's really experienced. So talking all the time, that makes a big difference, I reckon. So yeah, no, really enjoy the system, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, look, I got just coming towards the end of this now. I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on what your suppose your goals are or ambitions for the rest of the season. I think you've already said it. It's to try and get Coventry into those playoff positions. That'll be a good season for yourself, and maybe get back into the Burnley fold at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's it. All I can control is doing as well as I can, really, for Coventry, and taking one game at a time. And yeah, we'll see where we are, with 6 or 7 games left, and see can we sneak in. So yeah, it's an exciting time, and yeah, we'll see what happens then as time goes on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time around now. There's always a good run in towards the back end of the season, lots of games, and I suppose this is where you earn your crust, as they say.
Yeah, it's the business end now, so this where it gets exciting. So yeah, no, I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to the next 2 months or so. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Luke, I just want to say a huge thanks for coming on to the podcast and giving your thoughts, I suppose, on the season so far. I want to wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully you achieve all that you set out for the rest of the season. So thank you very much.